Hey everybody, it's Amy Wood, and I have Jennifer Piver with me. She is an executive director with the Mental Health Association in Greenville County. Your moniker stands for what? Mental Health America?
America, Greenville County.
Okay. So you guys have probably heard there has been tons of information going online about the new system. It's like a 911 but for suicide, and it's 988. Those are the new numbers, correct, Jennifer?
Correct. And it's for anyone in emotional distress or who's struggling. We're here to talk and listen.
So it's really like a mental health opportunity if you are concerned about self-harm, any level of self-harm. If you are concerned about just feeling like you're losing it, these are folks that can talk to you and kind of talk you off the ledge and help you understand you're not alone. There are so many people going through these things that you're facing, and there's a lot of people who want to help you, right, Jennifer? I think a lot of people feel alone and like no one cares.
Absolutely. And we're here to spend the time and listen, talk through what's going on, and also to connect you to the other resources like mobile crisis or stabilization units if those are necessary too.
All right, so let's talk about the challenge, though. This is a new law, and this number is in place in every state in the country. Interestingly, though, so you wonder, okay, if I dial that number in South Carolina, where does the call get answered? And Jennifer, the answer is you guys.
Exactly. Anyone who has a South Carolina area code will be routed here to our center, and we have a great facility with capacity to answer the staff technologically, or I'm sorry, we have the ability.
Oh, you're fine.
I
But you
hope
have the you have you have the ability to
we
handle
have the
it. You have training, you have volunteers, you have staff members, right?
We do, but we expect an increase between 4 to 10 times the call volume in the first year, including chat and text. And that's where we need to get over the finish line in South Carolina and find that sustainable funding for that staff
Yeah,
piece.
that's the weird thing, right? And the stories are being done all over the country right now in local communities like ours that
Uh-huh.
yes, the numbers out there, they fixed that problem, but no funding has been provided. It's all been left to each state to fund how they're going to handle how this rollout happens. And in South Carolina, there's no funding yet for you guys to really take care of this.
Exactly. The law allowed for states to, if they choose, to add a small amount so that we all participate in funding it. And with mental illness affecting 1 in 5, this really is at every dinner table.
Oh, it really is. I mean, I think it's almost the way cancer used to be, where no one was talking about cancer, and you didn't really know back. I'm old enough to remember, I'm 57, and back when I was younger, no one talked about it. No one, you didn't really know people who had cancer because they weren't talking about it. Now, with the comfort level of people talking about mental health, you're finding out more and more. Everyone's opening up and talking about how many people are struggling, and we pretty much know somebody, right? There's somebody in our circle who's having a problem, even if they don't show it,
Absolutely.
you know?
Absolutely. A lot of folks wear a mask to try to hide their emotions to get through the day, but really having a safe, confidential place to call with compassionate individuals can make all the difference.
So, what are the concerns on your end for being able to handle the calls? I mean, I know there's a backup system. We were talking about this before we did the interview live right now. That there's a backup system, like you would roll over to another state if for one evening, for example, you didn't have enough people to handle the volume that came in that moment. But there's a consequence to that, isn't there? A time consequence.
There are a couple consequences. The first is that we know that people have been abandoning the call, at least in our state, at 2 minutes and 1 second. And those transfer processes start at 3 minutes. And we want to make sure people know that their call will get answered. So stay on the phone and you will get connected with someone who cares. But the other concern is if it's not answered in state, how will the worker know how to connect them to the South Carolina resources? Like we have a mobile crisis here. Someone in Texas may not know that. And they'll be met with compassionate, caring individuals. But those resource pieces are a challenge, especially if someone's already done something to end their life, like take pills or something. We want to get that service there as quickly as possible.
So I'm assuming you guys are putting the call out to state lawmakers that you need some money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We are looking for that champion who can help us put this funding issue across the finish line.
And are there hopes of any kind of short-term funding? I mean, I guess there are grants and things like that you can go after. Is there money kind of to get the job done for now?
That's exactly what we're seeking. We're relying on grants, donations. We're planning a golf tournament, any of those kinds of things that can help us get that funding to increase our staff, especially as the call volume goes up.
And I know it's tough when you rely on volunteers, and I know you have some wonderful volunteers. But
Absolutely.
it can be tough because sometimes people come and go, and the training is intensive, right? But if there is somebody out there who's like, this might be my thing. I might have been, we have a lot of retirees moving down here who are looking for their thing, something to grab onto, to be part of in the community and feel like they make a difference. If there are some people watching who think they want to help, um, tell them like the kind of person that really makes a good volunteer and the kind of training that they can access and go through with your program.
Absolutely. We do have wonderful volunteers, and we're looking for folks who are good listeners, who are non judgmental, who can sit with someone while they're struggling. We do all of the training, so you don't have to have a mental health background. And it's over 60 hours of training, but folks are really well prepared once they get to the phone lines. And we have remote opportunities as well, and they can just email us at volunteer@988sc.org.
That's great to know. And that's interesting. So you can basically be at your house and do your volunteer hours answering the calls.
Absolutely.
So that can help somebody who maybe is stuck at home and wants to get out in the world and do something and they can't leave. So that's amazing.
It is. As long as they have good internet, then we can make it
Yes.
all work.
We gotta have good internet. That's so true. That's life, isn't it? So it's your phone ringing, I think. Sorry. Anyway, I want to thank you for your time. I want to wish you the best of luck. I know this is an important mission you're on.
Yeah,
And if there's anything that our viewers can do to help, I mean, do you want them to call their lawmakers and be like, "Hey, get them some money"?
that would be great. We really, it's going to take all of us to make this work. And we know it took 911 10 years to get all of the parts and pieces in place, and they do amazing work. And that's where we're headed. There's a lot of hope in this.
Absolutely. I mean, this really is. It's literally a lifeline.
Absolutely.
Jennifer, thank you so much. We appreciate the work you're doing in our community to support people.